Okay, so I want to make a quick video here today talking about the net neutrality rules that were just gutted. The FCC just voted to repeal net neutrality, which is a pretty big news story, pretty big deal. I'm sure you've heard about it a lot these past few months. If you've somehow not heard about it and you're American, then I'm not going to explain it here. You can go and find a video or something that explains it to you, which you probably all already know about it. And it's something that kind of sucks. If you use the internet, it's going to suck a little bit. If you're American, it's going to suck a lot. If you're not American, then you don't have to deal with the actual internet service providers or anything. But, you know, content creators that you watch or that you enjoy from America, like myself or people like Riot Games, right? There's going to be a lot of people hurt by this. And it's just going to suck, right? It's going to suck, but it'll be whatever. We'll all live. The reason I want to make this video, though, is because I was saying some stuff on Twitter, and some people wanted me to extend my thoughts in a YouTube video. Basically, all that I have to say is, did you vote? If you voted, good job. If you didn't, this is why you vote. There's a lot of people that are young, people that watch my videos. My largest demographic is between like 18 and 35 people. People between the ages of 18 and 35. That's the largest two demographics on my YouTube channel. And this is also a demographic of people that is widely known for not voting, but this is why you vote. And I just kind of want to make that clear to you guys. If you voted and you voted Republican, you know, congratulations, you got what you want. If you voted and you're a Democrat, then it kind of sucks because you didn't get what you want, but that's politics, you know, you win some, you lose some. But this is exactly why you vote. A lot of the young people, you know, they say that money controls the world or that all the parties are the same or something, and that's why they don't vote. But those are kind of goofy reasons, because this is an example where that just wasn't the case, right? This was, you know, if you don't know, the Democratic Party in the United States widely supports net neutrality. I don't think there's a single Democratic senator or congressperson who was against net neutrality or anyone that wanted to repeal it. And every Republican nominee for president, Donald Trump, Marco Rubio, Ted Cruz, I'm pretty sure every Republican nominee for president wanted to repeal net neutrality. And the same goes for senators and congresspeople. In Congress, I don't think there's a single Democratic senator or congressperson that supported the repeal of net neutrality. But there was just 103 Republican congressmen that wrote a letter to the FCC today saying, good job, you're doing what we want. And again, this is why you vote, right? This is why you vote. This is your job in a democratic representative democracy. You know, once a year or once every 2 years, depending on if you have local elections or if there's midterms and stuff, once every year or 2 years, you take 15 minutes out of your day to go fill out a ballot. And then, you know, you go back to work, you go eat lunch, you go do whatever it was you were doing beforehand. And this is why you do it, right? I mean, I don't know how to explain this. Like, a lot of people are saying right now that they're going to protest and we're going to keep on fighting and Congress can still change this and you know, we'll stop it in court or something. But that's likely not going to happen because Republicans, this is something that the Republican Party really wants. The Republican Party has been trying to get rid of net neutrality for a really long time. And whether you agree with that decision or not, I don't know how many of you guys are conservative and how many of you are liberal. Like, this is clearly something that was going to happen since 2016, since the last election, where, you know, Republicans control every house of Congress, they control the Supreme Court, they have the presidency and stuff. So, you know, even if Congress can change this, they are not going to vote against what they want. So this is something that, you know, this is why you vote. I can't make it any clearer than that. You know, this is just how a democracy works. Those individuals, there's been a lot of stuff like people saying that, you know, 83% of the American, 83% of the American or 83% of all Americans are against this. And, you know, that's likely true. This is something that's going to hurt everybody, whether you're a Republican or a Democrat. But, you know, the people in government, they don't see it that way. There's a lot of Republicans in government that, you know, this is what they campaigned on. They talked about, you know, how they want to remove net neutrality, how they want to, you know, get rid of all these regulations, and people voted for them. So that's what they think their constituents want. And again, you know, this is how you change things. You know, this is what people said that they wanted in the past number of elections, and so this is what we get. And I might sound condescending here, but I'm really not trying to be condescending or not trying to be rude or anything. Like, this is This is just how a democracy works. A lot of people, one of the things that people complain about all the time when it comes to voting is they say that money just buys elections. And that is not true at all. If you're curious, I think it's like 50%, something abysmal, but like 50% of America votes during a presidential election, something along those lines, a little bit above or below 50%. But when it comes to millionaires, anyone that makes like $1 million or more, 99% of them vote. The people that are, spending all this money on campaigns and stuff, the people that are supposedly buying the elections, 99%, almost every single one of them votes because they know more than anyone that money cannot actually buy an election. Your vote is what decides an election. They can try and influence you to vote a certain way, but at the end of the day, the votes are what determine everything. So they all know that. They're all going and making sure that their voice is heard in the government and voting every single opportunity they get. And that's what everybody needs to do. That's just how the world works. This is one thing about old people in particular. If you wonder why a lot of things in government seem like very outdated and why a lot of individuals in government seem to have really backwards or old views, it's because old people vote all the time. Every old person always votes, and young people are famous for not voting. Young people, congressmen have a saying. They say young people are all throat, no vote. They will complain and complain and complain, and they'll protest, and they'll constantly, say how angry they are that their views are not being represented in government, but they're not going to go out and vote for anyone. So, of course, congressmen aren't going to listen to their complaints because it's completely irrelevant what they say if they're not voting. But old people, every old person always votes. And that kind of sucks because there's a large portion of America that's very young, that has a beautiful vision for what the future wants to be. That sounds like I'm appealing to liberals because a lot of young people are very liberal, but, whatever. There's a lot of young people that really, they want the country to go in a certain direction, but that's not going to happen if they don't go out and vote. And that's something that's really depressing, but it's also something that's kind of exciting because in 20 years or something, all of the old people, all of the people that are, 60 years old, Donald Trump, he's 70 years old, the average age of a congressperson is 60 years old. There's going to be a lot of people that aren't around anymore, as morbid as that is. And those people aren't going to be voting. Those people aren't going to be voting. It's going to be the youth today, the people that are in their 20s that are going to be 40, 20 years down the road. They are going to be the biggest, they can decide elections. Maybe you can't decide an election right now with your vote if, young people continue to not vote. But you're going to be able to decide an election when all those older people are no longer voting. And it's important to get out and vote. And that's, this is why you vote. Whether you're a Republican, whether you're a Democrat, or whatever your political ideology is, this is why you vote. So make sure you go out and vote. Every opportunity you get. Don't just vote for the president. Everyone always only wants to vote for the president every 4 years, but every 2 years there's a midterm, and that's arguably more important, right? Again, whether you're a Republican or Democrat, this is just an example. You saw how little Barack Obama was able to get done because he had both houses, the Senate and the House of Representatives, both were controlled by Republicans, so that he couldn't really get anything done in his later years of his presidency. And that's something that, it's important to vote in the midterms because the midterms largely are the elections that decide whether, how each house is going to be controlled. And same is true for, local elections. When it comes to the things that actually affect you in your day-to-day lives, the federal government probably isn't going to be deciding nearly as much as your local government is, as your governor, your local Congress, even just stuff like a city council and the school board and stuff. These are all your trustees. These are all things that you're electing people to, and these are the individuals that are going to affect your life on a political basis every single day. And so it's really important that you get out and vote for these people. Don't complain, go vote. That's what you're supposed to do. And that's really all that you can do. If you voted, again, if you're a Republican, congratulations. If you're a Democrat, it sucks. You'll get them next time. But if you did not vote, this is why you vote. Just want to remind everyone of that today.